Hello and welcome to another episode of my Facts and Glitches series, where I showcase some more of what I've learned about GTA 5 in my over 10,000 hours of playing the game and from my awesome viewers. At the start of the mission By the Book, Trevor meets with Michael and insults him by calling him sugar tits.
You gotta quit that shit, man.
Yeah, I know.
I take speed mostly, and look at me, boom, best shape of my life. Yeah, I could still take you, sugar tits.
That's because you're fucking deranged, not because you're in good shape.
The reason this line delivery seems out of place is because it was to dub over a previous line that he gave, where Trevor calls Michael a racial slur, which I can't play on YouTube, although I will play the first two letters.
Yeah, I could still take you, my nigga.
That's because you're fucking deranged, not because you're in good shape.
I suspect Rockstar reconsidered its inclusion, especially as later in the game they have him saying N-word.
Oh, my N-word, huh?
During Michael's Epsilon side missions, he is tasked with running 5 miles in the desert.
You must wear your medal and your attire and run 5 miles through the desert.
Driving in a car obviously doesn't count, so running 8 kilometers normally takes half an hour and is very boring. Speedrunners, however, found a creative way to make this 6 times faster. By performing a ladder launch to get into the air quickly, they can then pull their parachute and repeatedly shoot that parachute to both gain height and change the direction of their flights. This enables them to perpetually stay in the air, and air travel surprisingly counts as running for the purpose of this side mission. While I'm sure you'd like to try this yourself, unfortunately, speedrunners use an earlier patch, and this form of infinite flight with parachutes was long ago patched out of the game. Most often when you aim your gun at the driver of a vehicle, that driver will panic and run over you. Other times they will reverse away from you, get out of their car, and then flee. This isn't the case though if you spam enter vehicle while aiming your gun. For some gates, the lower your FPS, the faster they will open. I will compare 180 FPS to 15 FPS on this gate at the tow truck yard to demonstrate. This oddly doesn't work on all gates though, as can be shown at Michael's house. In GTA Online, of course you normally die from vehicle explosions in free mode, but there is a way to give yourself permanent protection against it. If you start the repo job Sasquatch and then change session once you load in, the mission effect of vehicle explosion resistance will still be on you. This effect even applies if you leave GTA Online and return to single player. This unfortunately does not apply to explosions from other sources. At the end of the mission Hang 10, Trevor moves into the vanilla unicorn after taking out the manager. There was a phone call that was cut from the game that was originally meant to happen prior to the mission ending with us switching to Michael.
Trevor?
Lester, bro, my company's taking over management of the Vanilla Unicorn.
Of course, but what's that got to do with me?
Well, we're gonna use it to plan the big one, the Union Depository. I'm assuming you know where that is. Tell the gang and get down here.
Michael's call with Lester that is in the game does reference Trevor's phone call.
Hey, Lester.
Hey, Trevor just called about the big one, the UD. You know anything?
Yeah, I told him we could hit it. You down?
Of course I'm down. Look, I'll get my research together and meet you at Trevors. He's taking over the Vanilla Unicorn Gentlemen's Club.
All right, message Franklin.
Air hockey tables can be found around the pier, and originally they were meant to be playable. A map blip can be found in the original console's game files, along with assets for paddles, a puck, and there are even sound effects. Basketball courts can be found around the map. I mean a lot of basketball courts, a surprising amount of basketball courts. This is seemingly because the game was originally meant to be playable. Within the original console release's game files, there is a map blip and various sound effects. There were also many balls that were likely meant to be used on these courts. It is possible to get a blimp into the impound lot. If you have a car stored in your garage, call for a blimp and then park it nearby. If you take your car out of the garage and then drive to the impound lot, the blimp will relocate. Obviously the blimp won't be inside the small room, but if you look around you will find the wreckage of it. In the northern part of the map, there is a home with a sign that reads "Trespassers will be shot, survivors will be shot again," but this isn't what this sign used to be. While it can't be destroyed by normal means, if we delete it with a menu, we can see that it hides the Confederate flag, a controversial symbol in America. If we go on a patch prior to the release of the Doomsday Heist, we can see the flag is not covered. There is one taxi job where the passenger asks to go to the observatory so they can go hiking. This person seems somewhat glitched.
Thanks.
They are seemingly meant to have a backpack like many other hikers in the area, but as it doesn't spawn in, they simply hold their hands on their chest. As for why they don't get round the door, I can only guess. Many of the fences in the upper half of the map were accidentally placed as gates instead. Not only does this create logical issues with how a set of open gates are meant to protect anything, but also they can clip into objects which were placed without consideration for the gate opening. On the mission Chop, it was never made clear how the cops were so quickly able to track Lamar's phone after Lamar and Franklin kidnapped Dee.
We got your boy.
You calling them on a cell phone, you dumb motherfucker? They gonna trace this shit in a sec.
We want 40,000. It's pay me or pay the funeral director, motherfucker.
What the fuck you done? You just gave them our location. Now we gotta let this motherfucker out of here.
It is also not explained why the cops show up to the shootout on the mission long stretch where Dee dies. I suspect we were just meant to assume that the cops were very attentive and thus responded quickly. However, these questions are answered in a different way in some deleted dialogue that suggests that Dee was actually an informant for the police.
The pigs want you bad, homie.
Snitch must have rolled hard. Who know what that motherfucker pinned to us?
Go, go, go!
Prepare to breach.
The informant's down! The asset's gone! Get these guys!
Suspect sighted. 3 black males. They're out of the building. Attempting to exit the area.
There are many unused icons for the game, especially in the first release on consoles. A lot of these icons are for stuff that exists in the game but was never given an icon, like security vans for example. Others are clearly older icons that were later replaced, and some likely just exist because they were used in earlier GTA titles. You are normally not able to equip 2 accessories at the same time in GTA Online, but there is a way around this. Make a gas trail to a telescope on the pier, set it on fire, and then enter the telescope so your hand touches the telescope as you catch on fire. This will glitch out your animation, giving you access to your menu to put on another accessory. Your original accessory will return when you move away from the telescope. When it's snowing in GTA Online, toggling heat vision shows that cars leave heat marks behind them.
What the fuck?
No way!
On the mission Predator, Franklin automatically calls Trevor to inform him that the O'Neills are in the woods.
There was a deer in the road, man. These motherfuckers crashed out.
If you manually call him, however, the same conversation occurs, but Franklin's phone will be left on screen when the game automatically transitions you to Trevor.
I need air support like right fucking now.
Don't worry. Incoming!
This enables you to call Trevor while being Trevor, and this results in Trevor being given the default NPC phone for some reason. If your car has an open door and you sprint into the car while holding a throwable and aiming, the door will close and your arm will go through the glass, surprisingly not breaking it. This will continue until you stop aiming. Just in case you skipped over the movement tech video, the buffered ledge grab will no longer work the same way it did before in single player because of a recent GTA Online update. You can no longer initiate a buffered ledge grab while out of cover by putting your phone down. You must go back into cover and go out of it in order to initiate. So that's the end of the episode. Thank you for watching. If you have anything that you think would be of interest to this series, feel free to add it to my Discord. I hope you're all doing well.